Hey folks, Owen here again with another battle report, and it has been a long time since I've recorded one of these. There's been loads of reasons, obviously work, life, whatever, but another one of the reasons is the end times, and you know, it's been a fantastic collection of books. I'm sitting here looking at Gash, Glockin, Kane, Thanquil, Archeon, great stuff, really great reads, and if you haven't got them all and read them, you probably should if you're a fantasy player, because they're really cool. But because of it, a lot of people just don't want to play anymore, and it's been really quiet. And you know, I've had to play Malekith quite a lot as well. It's been fucking horrible. There's not a lot of fun in it. It depends who you're playing, of course, and you know, people say, oh, you're playing against the player, not the army list, but that's not entirely true. You know, you do have to play against some horrible things, and if you want to have a fun game, you kind of have to balance things out with dirty stuff and fun things, and Malekith just isn't fun. But anyway, let's not dwell on that. I happened to get a really good game last 2.5 weeks ago. It was a lot of fun, and it was against my usual opponent, Dave. There is a tournament coming up in Lisbon, called Machohammer. That's been run by Barry Lynch for a number of years now, and this is Machohammer 4. And similar to last year, he has come up with an interesting idea of what it is, and I've actually put a screenshot up here as well, so I'll pop it up now. And this is it. So he has got himself 5 games. Now last year, actually I liked it was 4 games on a Saturday, 1 on a Sunday, because it was pretty cool. It meant we can get home early on a Sunday, and plus I like playing 4 games in one day, because it was kind of grueling, but I mean, you're getting to play 4 games of Warhammer in one day. It's great. Fucking sweet ads, you know, and you get to eat and drink all day too, so who cares? But as he's done here is he's taken some of I think maybe something like the South Coast, where you have missions and tournament points, but he's also changed it around where you only really get points for stuff that you kill, not for stuff that you lose, which means that you can just throw stuff in, kill as much as you can, and get as many points as you can, which I think is much more fun, and it means people will be a little bit looser to what they're using. Hopefully it will anyway. Now I am planning to go to this, and I've been kind of play testing Warriors of Chaos and Legions of Chaos, mainly Legions of Chaos, just for some fun, because I get to use a table and I don't get to use playing that much. So what I'm going to do is go through a game I've played using the Legions of Chaos, and we have 2,200 points with that. And Dave is playing with Hosts of the Eternity King, of course. Now in this comp here that Barry has, they also get 2,200 points because they're an elven host. He has since added onto this where you can take kind of themed hosts with Beastmaster hosts and things like that, and they'll give them an extra 200 or 300 points just because you're adding some strange things into your army, and you're kind of making it more fun for your opponent. And I like the idea of that. It does mean you have to really kind of be careful what you're giving people extra points for, but I mean, you have to really give it to them for trying something different and making things a little bit more fun rather than playing 20-0, hide your stuff, move around. It is kind of monotonous, and it does make things a little bit boring. So anyway, we're going to crack onto this, and I hope you enjoy it, because it was a really good game. So as I said a few minutes, well, a minute ago, Legion of Chaos versus Host of the Eternity King, 2,200 points. So we'll start off with my deployment, and after creating our rules and whatever, we didn't realise there was no scenarios available yet, so we just went with straight battle line, set up our terrain, and then roll for sides. And that was pretty much it. I did build this army though with a half a mind towards it being used, so I put in things like musicians, standard bearers, full command, because I presume that in these missions you'll need that sort of stuff. It makes sense, and it's quite cool to have them in anyway, because I always put the models in, but they never end up being those guys. So and this is actually a bit of a test list, because I've never used some of this stuff, like the Marauders there on the left hand side. I never used those guys before. So I have 5 Marauders there on the left, kitted out as you can see. Chariot Slanesh, 10 pink cars, which I got a lend off Nigel, which are painted very nicely, and if he is going to sell them, then I would like to buy them. Hint hint, Nigel. Below them then I have my prince, who is the boss, and beside him I have Blobe Rotspawn, because I think those Maggot Lords are fantastic models. It was a really cool model paint. Really enjoyed how it came out as well. I think it looks like one of the best I've painted so far, and it's really deadly. If I do get a chance, I'll try and get 2 more and paint them up, but it does take quite a long time to buy them, because they cost a lot of money, and to paint them because they're pretty fucking big. But yeah, I really like him. He's not very tough. He's toughish. He's durable because he's quite a lot of wounds, but he doesn't really have any save of any kind. So he's a bit of a a luxury item, but I like him and I don't really give a shit, to be honest. The rest of my army is quite hard anyway, so I'm allowed to have a bit of fluff with a bit of hard. So on the right hand side then I have the Exalted Hero, who is your usual tough as nails BSB with a big ward save, and then I got 3 Skull Crushers who've got a Musician, Standard Bearer and a Sorcerer Weapons. And then a couple on, well, not really on the right, I went more to the left and in the centre. I recently got myself Throg and 5 Trolls, which Nigel was also selling off. They're in the bundle, so I got my hands on them. I never had any Trolls or Throg before, and I hear they're pretty cool. And I'll tell you what, the models are pretty cool as well. I'm actually looking at them here because I'm just finishing off Throg, the paint job, and he's a real fun model to paint because there's a lot of detail in this guy. You really want to take your time and get him looking really nice because he's a real centerpiece of a guy. But anyway, so I popped them over there. They've got their upgrade of additional hand weapons, and then another Chariot of Slaanesh. So on to the Host of the Eternity King, and just you can see there with my arrow, I won the Vanguard roll off, and I vanguarded it right in front of his line because I don't want him doing any vanguarding with his units, which is great. It's a nice one. It means they can't vanguard too far out. They can go to the right hand side if they want, but I don't really care if they do. So what has he got there? I actually didn't get the army list off, Dave, but I think I know what it is. So he has 5 Dark Riders with I don't think they've got any add-ons. Behind them are, I think they're Executioners because they look pretty like Executionary. They're pretty nasty lads, and I will keep away from them as much as I can and leave them over there. Then in front of them he has 5, 10, I think it's 10. Yeah, I think it's 10 Dragon Princes. They have Banner of the World Dragon. Great. I think he has his BSB in there as well, actually. Yeah, the BSB is just there on the left hand side of that unit. Behind them then he has 9 Warlocks and his Mage, I think it's a Sorceress or something like that. On the right then he has the 20 Dark Shards. Scattered in between them are a couple of Bolt Throwers. And then over on the right he does a few more Vanguards with his 2 more units of Dark Riders who are horrible. Brings them down towards my lines, and then you'll see 2 more Bolt Throwers there on the top as well. So not a very kind army list at all. But I shan't complain because I've won every dice roll so far, so that's good news for me. So lots of blue lines here, loads of movement. Move the cavalry, or sorry, not the cavalry, the Moro horsemen right up in front of that Bolt Thrower. So you either shoot me, and if you shoot me, fine, yeah, I'm dead, so what. But if not, I'll charge in there behind him. Charge into him, try and get rid of him. So I can't march into the building with my horse, so I just move up in front of it. Then a bit of flying around for the Demon Prince on the left hand side. I'm just trying to keep a hold on this guy. So if he does move up with those armies, I'll be able to come down in there and get a couple of charges off and get a couple of flank charges maybe. And a Demon Prince in a flank is quite nice. And that's pretty much it there. Over on the right hand side then we have Skull Crushers moving up, and I decided to move the Trolls up as fast as possible so I can get into combat. As you can see, I'm not very good with Trolls because I should have done something else completely. What I probably should have done was move the Skull Crushers right in front of where they are, and then move the Trolls to where the Skull Crushers are. So at least they will be further away from getting shot. Skull Crushers could go into that unit on the next turn, and they're more than likely going to survive because, I mean, they're 1+ armor save. They might get taken out in a few hits here and there, but I would prefer to lose the Skull Crushers rather than the Trolls because Throg and the Trolls are quite potent and a nice tough unit. So there's a mistake I made, and something I've learned already, so that's not bad. Then I moved my chariot up here a little bit as well. What I probably should have done with that chariot is face it over to the right hand side, or face it near the end of my line, so I'd be able to get a charge off on those Dark Riders or stop them coming around, or something like that. But I didn't really think of it at the time, but I thought of it now. So on to my shooting phase, and yes, I have a shooting phase because Blow Brotspawn has some Bile Puke attack, which is quite potent, as you can see here. Strength 3 for everything around it, and Strength 4 on the little button. And I killed 5 of his guys. Extremely lucky rolls from me. So I hit directly on, killed the guy in the middle, and then wiped out 4 guys. And Dave goes, "Oh, sure, it's only Strength 3. I get myself an armor save." No armor saves here, Dave. See you later. So Banner of the World Dragon doesn't help you. So I can't feel sorry for him, but I'm very surprised it actually worked because that's the first time I've used this guy twice, and I've never hit anything really with it. So, yay, good stuff. So, host to Eternity King turn 1. Dave decides to do an about face with his Dragon Princes and then immediately rolls 2 11s, so they can't march off anywhere else. So, hard luck there, guys. Then he turns over his Dark Riders and look at my Marauder Horsemen. So, if his Bolt Thrower doesn't kill him, they will. Then over here he moves his what are they called again? Warlocks. That's how do I forget what they are? They're a nasty bunch. So Warlocks and his Sorceress moves them behind his Dark Shards, which means they're pretty much safe from most things. That's all he really does. I think the Dark Riders on the right hand side move down as well. Ah, they do. There we go. So Dark Riders on the right move down, and the Dark Riders who were in front of the Trolls just move there to try and, well, to block the Skull Crushers because they're in the right position. So on to the next phase, of course, is the shooting phase. Dave is very unlucky here. Dark Riders take a shot. I don't think they took anybody out. Or may have taken one out. Then he is forced to take a shot with his Repeater Bolt Thrower, which does take a shot at me, but only kills 2 guys. So 3 guys down, 2 left, which was quite lucky for me considering the amount of shots he took at me. But that's how it goes. He's a lot more successful over this side though, and 3 Trolls are dead thanks to numerous bolts and numerous crossbow bolts going into them, so not so good. So on to Legions of Chaos turn 2. I decide to charge the Marauders into the crossbow, into the Repeater Crossbow. I mean, when you're against elves, it's always a hard thing to be going into if you're not really strong or really highly armored, because of the ASF means they're guaranteed to pretty much hit you, I'd say 90% of the time. It's incredible, especially when you're re-rolling your wounds to wound as well. It makes it even more different. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have put them in, but why not? Might as well. So they're into the Bolt Thrower. I did try a charge with both Blow, Rotspawn and my Chariot. Blow was going into the back of the Knights, or probably actually would have been the side of the Knights, and the Chariot was going into the side of the Dark Riders. They both missed out, mainly because Blow only has 2 dice and he was very far away. But I thought the Chariot would get in, so a bit of bad there. So that's not, what can you do? Bit of bad luck. Meanwhile, more charges here. So my Chariot on the right hand side fails his charge. I did not decide to charge with the Trolls because I elected to charge with the Chariot first, and he said he was going to hold. So I said, if I'm going to charge the Trolls, they're fucked. He's just going to blow them away. So I moved up and I'm going to do my Puke attack and see how that works out, seeing as the Chariot didn't get in. Then of course the Skull Crushers nowhere to go, so they might as well charge those guys and kill them anyway. So on to my shooting phase, and that's my breath attack phase if in Demon Prince, and the Demon Prince's breath attack works out very well and kills quite a lot of guys, so very happy. And it worked out so well that they panicked off the board. That's very good for me, because that unit is a tough unit to crack. Meanwhile, Throg does the same thing, but he can't quite get enough. I just can't get the Puke template over enough guys to really do that much damage. Even though it's strength 5, I only managed to kill, I think it's 6 guys. I mean, that's not great. I was really hoping to get rid of 10 at least. Panic check, but he was okay. Skull Crushers, of course, destroy these guys because they're just Skull Crushers, and they run off into the middle of nowhere, because that's what they do when you're frenzied. Then Host of Eternity King turn 2. So as you can see, the Bolt Thrower still survives because my Marauders are weeds, but his Bolt Thrower guys are weeds as well. So Dave decides to go into the flank of my Demon Prince, which, you know what, it's not that bad of an idea, seeing as you're always going to be hitting me with pretty much everything, and you might get something through, you never know. Then he moves his Dragon Princes over to the side and moves them away from my guys. So nothing much else, a bit of shimmy in there by the Warlocks, but that's it. Ah, I missed this out, sorry. Then a rear charge, nonetheless, by these Dark Riders who got around. Again, I probably should have had that Chariot turn around, so I'd be able to give him a good charge in my turn when I had the chance. But if I had made the charge the last time, they wouldn't be there. So what are you going to do? And then the magic phase, which we haven't really talked about because the magic phase has been pretty sterile, happens for Dave. He rolls 6 dice on his whichever one does the initiative test. I can't remember. Pit of Shades? Pit of Shades. I tried to dispel, I fail, and then Dave rolls a scatter d6 and rolls scatter that way, 6, so I managed to get away from it, thank fuck. So I'm very lucky. Unfortunately, he's more dice left, so he soul blights me and then shoots me and kills Throg. Now, I think we were doing the whole wound allocation thing here wrong, or I don't know. So what we did is that Dave rolled to wound, or Dave rolled to hit. Then I allocated the wounds to the first 3 because there was only 3 people there, and I thought maybe you had to allocate by command or something like that because he's Throg. I don't know. So that's what we did anyway, and at the end of it, Throg is dead and 2 of his other guys are still alive but with 1 wound. So he's done a good job there. And as for the combat here, he loses 3 guys, causes a wound on me, and he actually has musicians in each of his Dark Rider units. That's right, I never said that at the start. He has musicians, so he got a wound, a charge, and a rear charge. Actually, maybe he doesn't have a musician. Maybe just he won by 1. No, sorry, he won by 1. So I was nowhere near my general or my BSB, so I was rolling on a 7. Which I failed, but he did not manage to catch me. Very lucky, very lucky, and I didn't bounce through anybody. So if I had bounced here, I would have hit the other guys and went off the board. So I was very lucky in both respects of not going off the board, not getting caught. Over here then, the bolt thrower crew do what they do. They hit me and then they wound me, kill 1 guy, and then this guy panics and flees off the board. So that's the end of him. Leads the chaos turn 3. So I don't know why I didn't put any little arrow thingies in here, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So these guys move up to try and get into contact charge range of the units that are over here on the top right of the screen, which you can't really see. I didn't bother going into the Demon Prince because he's killed a couple of those Dark Riders anyway. Might as well just let him chop them up and go away. He's used his breath weapon and he's killed a shitload of points, so I think he's done his job. You know, I'll give him a break. Then on the right hand side, I decided to turn about the Skull Crushers and bring them over there. That was an awful move, which you will see in a minute. There we go, there's a nice arrow, and spot what you think is going to happen to those guys. Another arrow I forgot to put in was I charged in with the trolls, so they're in combat because I mean there's only 1 wound each left. I might as well try and charge in and kill something, but not so likely when someone has ASF. And then my chariot does rally. What I decided to do is just give him my arse. If he wants to charge, fair enough. I should be able to kill him. And if not, then my BSB will be able to charge in. So we've got a lot of charges going on here, which is pretty cool. Then I rolled the Reign of Chaos, which has done absolutely nothing for me in the entire game. It turned out to be, I forget what number it was, whichever one you roll for a unit, and it takes so many hits, whatever it is. But it worked out okay for me because I got a 6 and killed his bolt thrower, so good stuff, Reign of Chaos. Then finally I get to roll something for the Horrors, who rolled a 6 for their spell and got Infernal Gateway, which is pretty nice. So I fired a load of dice at that, got it off, and killed 3 of the Warlocks, which is always good news. Unfortunately, I miscast and I killed 3 of my guys, which is quite cheap considering it's 2d6 rather than just ward save for the stinky Warlocks. But anyway, they're a good bunch. Over here, Demon Prince doesn't cover himself in any glory, unfortunately. He kills 1 Dark Rider, well done. Then proceeds to let a wound through, so he is unbreakable, but he still lost the combat to a Dark Rider, so not so hot. And then wandering over here, as you can see, there's no trolls. That's right, because they're fucking dead. They got chopped up really quickly, and that's mainly because ASF. ASF is fucking horrible. So Host of the Eternity King turn 3. Dave does what he should do and charges the back of my chariot. If he managed to get a wound through and I don't wound him, then he should see me running for the hills. Then he turns around the knights there in the top left hand corner and does nothing else. And a big star means that my unit is dead. Yes, that's right, because I was stupid enough to move them up into the range of the bolt thrower where I could shoot directly at them and go 2-2 of them and kill them. Now, admittedly, it was quite lucky. I mean, he did hit me, and then he wounded me, and then he rolled a 3. Or no, he rolled a 6 or whatever, 5 or 6, and he did the same thing again, rolled another 6. So there was a bit of luck involved, but I mean, if you put them in the wrong place, then it doesn't matter if it's luck or not. It's your own fault. So my fault. They're dead. Well done, Dave, for killing them. And that was pretty much it for the Legion of Chaos, or sorry, for the Host of the Eternity King. As you can see on the right hand side, my chariot killed his Dark Riders and did nothing else. So he was waiting in the wings there to charge his bolt throwers, and that's exactly what he did. So I did the dirty thing where you can swing in a certain way and then pop and turn for some reason, which I think is fucking ridiculous for bolt throwers. You should be just going straight into it, not just being able to turn. But anyway, that's what I did, so I'll be able to kill the next bolt thrower when I get to do the impact hits. My unkillable, well, nigh unkillable BSB is going to go into his guys there. He took a couple of shots, but nothing went through his ward. And then Blobe and the other chariot go directly into the Dragon Princess. Now, there's no magical attacks there from me, so his banner is quite useless. So that's great news. And that's just another picture because it looks nice. And that again sees the Reign of Chaos work its magic. Actually, no, I'm lying. That's Infernal Gateway. I did another gateway, and that was the only thing I could see. So I cast my spell, and off it went. It was just great. So onto the combat phase. Chariot does, I think it was 5 impact hits, all wound, take it off, onto the next one. Exactly. This is like standard. This is 101 Chariots of Chaos. It's fucking great. And over here, these guys did a great job. The chariot went in, did a load of hits. It was only -2 to his armor save, which was perfect because he rolled 3 ones. So 3 guys were dead from one go, and then I just put Blobe on his BSB and just put all my attacks into him and battered him. So he's dead, and they're high-fiving each other. So Host of the Eternity King turned 4. Dave, actually this is where we had to end off because for some reason this game took us ages. We were taking smoke breaks and sitting around. I wasn't smoking, now Dave was smoking, but there was people around, we were talking, we were showing off models and taking it easy. So we had a good time, but we ended up having such a good time we took fucking ages. So things were going downhill for Dave anyway. So we said, listen, last turn, what are you going to do? And he says, I'm going to move over here and I'm going to fucking try and destroy Blobe Rothspawn because he's quite expensive, and if I fire a Doom Bolt at him, I could probably kill him, and I couldn't blame Dave for doing it because it's probably the best thing he could do. So that's what he goes to try. Unfortunately for Dave, he fails to cast Doom Bolt, and it goes onto the combat phase, which I do get to have a shot in. So we do another 5 impact hits to this guy and take him off. And then onto the final slide of the game, which involves my BSB, the unkillable BSB, and 4 of his crossbowmen, and one of them taking a wound off me because my dice were rubbish. And I think I killed what, 4 guys or something. But he's steadfast. His general is there. He saved it, so I didn't get any more points. But that's the end of the game, and it was a lot of fun. And that is the end of the game, and I got my nice fancy curtains back thanks to Office 14, so good stuff out of that. So yeah, game over, good fun, but everybody wins, and that's the most important thing because everybody gets to kill everything. It doesn't matter what you lose, it's what you kill, plus your missions, but we didn't actually get a chance to do that. Although I did break Dave, so I got +1, and he did not break me, so I got another +1. But anyway, we weren't really counting that sort of stuff, we were just having a bit of fun and just getting to kill everything, so that was quite cool. But the Legion of Chaos killed the most, so I think we deserve more credit. Obviously we deserve more credit because it's my army. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of kudos to Barry for putting this kind of comp thing together. It's not too difficult to do, but it's something that people have never really thought about because they're more interested in, oh, I got to win, I have to win, I have to do this, I have to do sneaky stuff. And he's also put it in a little extra caveat saying, if anybody swift reforms into a building, that they get thrown out of the event, which is quite cool, which I quite like. Don't like that sort of stuff. But yeah, so very rarely would I go to tournaments these days, but if Barry or any of the Northern Ireland tournaments are on, actually I would try to go because it generally has a nicer kind of vibe to it, and most of the tournaments that are going on around Dublin these days are something that I personally don't want to be at because I don't find them fun. And the whole point to play this game is to have fun. Every board game, and this is essentially just a giant board game, like any drafts, whatever, chess. It's a giant board game, and if you don't have a good time playing it, what the fuck is the point? So yeah, hopefully I get to go and play this and have some fun. And hopefully you get to have a few more games down the club as well if there's a few people going to this event. Because Warhammer has become quite quiet now, thanks to the end times. And hopefully I get some more battle reports going as well. It's all I really do on this channel. I'm not really into talking about kind of Warhammer and what's going on with this book and army and shit, because I'm not that kind of player. I'm no good at it. I just play for the crack. So yeah, hopefully I get some more battle reports up, and thanks for still subscribing, not getting rid of me because I haven't been around for a month and a half, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thanks very much.